Hello folks and welcome back to Medieval Total War. I am Conostep and this is going to be part 36 of my early campaign where I'm playing as the Almohads. And in the last episode it was pretty ugly, but I did finish off the Hungarians by losing more than I lost. I mean, I lost two pretty awful sieges here in Serbia and then here in Venice as well. And then they tried to relieve the siege in Serbia and I was able to kill their king, ending their faction. So I don't have to worry about them catching up to me in points anymore. Now, at this point, it's just kind of the Poles, I think, is going to be the only other faction that could come close to catching me. Gosh, maybe now that I'm looking at the Germans, I keep getting reminded, like, this should not feel threatening, but maybe at some point I do have to look at them. Oh yeah, right. And the Danes as well. Yeah, the Danes and this. That's a lot. So at some point, maybe I have to look at the Danes, but I think my next target will be the Poles. However, before I even get into that, there's the elephant in the room, which is the fact that I have a 40-year-old khalifah who has not given birth to any children, or any sons at least, and his two brothers are 36 and 35, so just a few years younger than he is. And that is pretty stressful. However, there has been some good news on this front in the sense that in my other campaign, in my Aragon campaign, I have realized, I've learned that it is possible for, at least with the Catholics, it is possible for heirs to have children already on the way, even if they are not married. Because my Aragonese king has just, he has just taken a throne, you know, and he did get married, but he already had a son on the way. You know, he had a son out of wedlock who was already like 14 by the time he became king. So that's great news. That really is wonderful news. And that indicates that there could be a possibility that one of these guys also has a child out of wedlock. Well, I mean, I don't think it even matters. Actually, yeah, it doesn't matter. Cool thing about the Muslims, at least what I've read, is that they did not care at all if it was a son born from a concubine or anyone else. As long as the king thought that they were the best man for the job, they chose them as heir, and that was it. There was no, you know, there's no like, she's a concubine. No, they didn't care. That's my understanding at least, so that's pretty sweet. And makes me wonder, like, what the hell, man? With all of your potential concubines, like, what have you been doing this whole time? And you are a flipping hedonist. This is all you've been doing, is hanging out with the concubines. Come on, man. He devotes much of his time to good food and other pleasures of the flesh. Bullshit. Where's the proof of it? I mean, unless they're just all daughters, and we wouldn't know because the game does not track daughters unless you're Catholic. Yeah, what gives, man? What gives? I don't know. So, just to be as transparent as possible with my process on this, this raises a pretty big ethical dilemma for me as a content creator here on YouTube that I have not really had to deal with too much. In Shogun, there were some close calls when it came to the possibility of me losing a campaign, but there's always something that I could be doing and that I was able to do so that I didn't have to actually do any like save scumming or anything like that. Not that I'm above that, but I didn't have to. With Shogun, I didn't have to. And with this game, I do feel a little bit cheated if this is how I go out, right? If I can lose a campaign like this, it feels pretty dumb, and I don't think I would be above save scumming and then using that instant heir code to give myself a son and then continue on with my campaign. And this is the time when I would have to make that call. The fact that he's 40 years old is that I would have to do that here and now. I would have to do that just to make sure, because I think, like, so you'd be 56 by the time that son becomes of age. And after that, it gets a little iffy regarding whether or not he lives long enough for that son to become of age. So that's why that's the case. So again, just in the whole name of full transparency, I guess if you've made it this far in the campaign, you deserve it this much. Here's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to play this out because I want to see what's going to happen, and I want to learn more about this game. I want to know, you know, perhaps if these guys, my heirs, have sons on the way, you know, and then I'm just overreacting. It'd be nice to know that. You know, that's something I want to know. So I'm going to play this out, and I'm probably going to speed through quite a few turns here and just obviously edit them out of this video. I can say, yes, I will be, you know, building up for an invasion of Poland, but that's going to be kind of a background process that I'll be working on. I won't be putting too much thought into this, just because I don't want to spend too much time on the next 16 turns, or, you know, however many turns it takes to figure out what's going to happen here. I want to get this over with. I kind of want to figure out what's going to happen. I don't want to take multiple episodes to figure out whether I'm going to lose this campaign or not. I know earlier in my Aragon campaign, I recorded, like, I was so stressed about that campaign, I thought I was going to lose right away. And there's a point where I think I recorded like 3 or 4 episodes in a row before I even uploaded the single one, because I was like, oh, I think I'm screwed, you know? And I don't want to do that here. I want to just kind of speed through this and see what's going to happen, and try to save myself as much pain of having to, like, really go into excruciating detail and paying attention to my turns, all just for nothing. You know, that would just feel really, that would defeat me, like, emotionally. That'd really suck. But if I just kind of speed through it a little bit and, you know, obviously pay attention to the kind of the superficial details and making sure what I'm going to do up here is just abandon the Balkans up here. I don't intend, I lost like 1,000 troops, more than 1,000 troops, taking, or not even taking, but failing to take those castles, taking those sieges. So up here, I probably will just abandon the Balkans. The question's going to be is if I'm going to actually destroy all the buildings or not. It would net me some money, sure, but you know what's kind of a cheeky idea is perhaps leaving this, like, open for the taking, because what's around me? Well, the Turks are, and am I really worried about them? I'm not that worried about them. Also, why do the numbers turn red? I've never known that. I've never known why the numbers turn red. Because I just checked earlier and they weren't red. And this is the same turn. So what's the deal with this? I've never... It's something obvious. It's always something that I should know. I'm like, oh yeah. What was it earlier in the campaign? I was like, how do I know which heir is the next in line? And it's like, it's the red name. It's that. So what does this mean? Like, what are the red? Every number is red. So what does that indicate? I have no idea. Anyway, before I was distracted, I was talking about the Turks. I'm not worried about them catching up in points, really. So if they were to take over these territories and get a little bit stronger, that's fine with me. Also, there's a vacuum up here with the Hungarian provinces. They are somewhat defended, at least, well, Hungary is. Would the Poles take them? I don't know. They're kind of stuck in a hard spot. They got Mongols around them. And I don't know if they really have the forces to expand past where they're already at. So they might be a little bit stuck. Would the Germans take it? I don't know. They might. The Germans might take a province or two. Would the papacy take it? Yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see. It's impossible to know. But if someone does get stronger in this region because I abandoned these territories, I don't know how upset I will be. Yeah, we have, you know, Danes in the area. The Swiss are fighting the Danes. They've put the Danes under siege here in Tyrolia. Is this a rebel? No, this is the Sicilians. Yeah, we got Swiss, Sicilians, Danes, Italians, papacy, Germans. This is just a really crowded region right here. So I think I'll leave these provinces, and I think I'll leave these buildings just kind of for fun, because it's like a prize, you know, like whoever grabs this could have something kind of cool. You know, they could have some regions that could really do a lot of work for them. That might be stupid. You know, maybe what I should always be doing is just burning down buildings. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the answer, but I'm just gonna give my governorship of Venice to this guy. I just picked the right guy. Yeah, 5 acumen, why not? And we'll be up to 6 with that. And yeah, make a little bit of money just for now. But I'm just, like I said, I'm gonna abandon Venice. Probably not this turn. No, I have to go back to Croatia. That's fine. I'll just do that right now. Go back to Croatia here, and then... Yeah, let's just not finish the siege. How long is it going to take? Two more turns? I don't care. I'm done. I'm done with this part of the world. I want to go back home to my desert. So, that's going to be that. I do have some work to do when it comes to refitting my armies and getting them ready for an invasion of Poland. I feel like my navies are pretty good. I can keep training or building boats, because why not? But I think my navies are looking pretty good. My income is still sitting at 6,000, so that's fine. I can definitely train some more soldiers and not really worry too much about that and, you know, destroying my upkeep. So I'm kind of free, I think. I'm not at war with anyone. So yes, I think I'm kind of free to, dare I say, have kind of a non-thinking, you know, few turns here where I don't have to think about things too much. I can just make sure I'm building stuff, training stuff, and that's kind of it. You know, making sure my borders are secure, and I'm not going to go really too crazy thinking about the details of the next few turns, because I just want to know what's going to happen with my lineage, my dynasty, and then I can kind of relax if things go well, and I can continue on. Or if things don't go well, then I can just restart from this save and put the code in for an instant heir. Now my Khalifa has finally just died, and geez, oh Pete, it's been a long journey for me. I've been recording for quite a while here. Now, this is his older brother. He's 55 now as he becomes the new Khalifa. He does have sons on the way. His eldest being 14 years old. Still 2 years away, but hopefully Khalifa Umar III lives to the age of 57. His older brother lived to the age of 58 or 59 before he died, so it's close. It is very close. So it's not over yet, but yes, I mean, you know, that there is that. And then even if this king dies before one of his sons comes of age, then there is his, you know, younger brother, Prince Ismail, who is 54. So there's still a chance that he might have some sons. So it's not over yet. But yes, there's a chance, and yeah, it's also nice to know, to have it confirmed that yes, the whole idea of having these children already being born essentially out of wedlock is totally a thing. Although, okay, so it says he's married, actually. So let me take a peek at Prince Ismail. Are you married? No, it does not. So do you just like automatically get married once you become the Khalifa, if, you know, for the Muslim factions? I'm not quite sure. So let's skip ahead a couple more turns to make sure that everything's going to be okay. Now Prince Ali has come of age, and he is going to be the savior of this campaign. Oh my god, that was stressful. Jesus. Man, a whole lot of drama over nothing, right? But you know what? I did learn some things, so that's good. I'm glad that I had this opportunity to learn this stuff. Yeah, it would have been really nice if they put a family tree in this game. That would have been very helpful. Because I'm trying to know, you know, if I should do this any differently in the future when I play my future campaigns in this game. This felt like the smartest way to do things. The whole, it was essentially a 20-year fast forward, right? I think I started this episode at 1336, I believe, the year. Now we're at 1357, so 21 years have passed. And that was essentially a lost time. You know, that's time that I could have spent getting rid of Poland, or, you know, whatever, you know, invading Denmark. Or I have built up my my armies and my navies, and my military infrastructure is looking very good as well. I'm just working on the Master Metalsmith, which is the +4 weapons for in Aragon, and then in Navarre I'm working on same thing, I think. Yeah, Master Metalsmith here. So that's pretty good. Like my infrastructure is like pretty high up there. I'm building, I believe I was building these siege cannons here in Tunisia. So siege cannons are status symbols, and all kings want these in their arsenals. Gunnery is a science rather than a matter of luck. Big guns become practical. They won't explode and kill the crew rather than the enemy, as over time gunsmiths become more skilled and gunpowder improves in quality. So I have a few of these bad boys out, and it looks like I kind of lost track of this, but it looks like we do have the capability of building my most advanced forms of artillery. Now, it says that, here's the thing, siege cannons are going to be the epitome of what it takes to knock down fortifications, which is the most useful purpose of a siege, piece. Siege weapon. However, we do have these two units that are more for, they're anti-personnel siege weapons. We have the Serpentine Crew, and this is a Serpentine is a light cannon with a very long barrel. The name comes from its snake-like proportions that fire a 1 kilogram ball. It is light, transportable, and quite accurate. It has good range, and a single shot can kill more than one man. This is a pretty decent anti-personnel siege equipment. It is long range, so that's nice, and it does some pretty decent damage as well. So we can get a few of these out. Why not? Just for fun. Actually, let's alternate it, because we actually have shown the organ gun in my airgun campaign. So the organ gun takes its name from its multiple barrels laid side by side on a wooden frame and reminiscent of the pipes of a church organ. It can unleash a devastating salvo, but it suffers from the same slow fire rate and difficulty of movement as other artillery pieces. Very, very short range, but super fun when you get that right shot off, which I did have a defensive siege battle where I used an organ gun, 2 of them actually, and it was pretty fun watching them just decimate entire units, but then they got overran. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched my airgun campaign yet. So why not get a few of these out just for funsies? I don't know about the historical accuracy of either of these, actually. Especially, sure, I've heard of the organ gun before. I don't know when it was invented, but I know it was, like a kind of a thing. I don't know if it really was ever used in the battlefield much. But then the Serpentine, I really don't know. I've never heard of one before I started playing this game, so I'm really curious as to the historical authenticity of this piece here. In any case, other than that, it wasn't a total waste, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so the last 21 turns, I was basically just waiting to see if I would have an heir, come of age. And some things did happen. Hungary did reemerge, and they've taken over just essentially their old lands. Okay? So it's almost as if nothing has happened. They're down to, their points reverted back to 0, of course. Egypt is going after the Danes and their territories. They've taken back Tripoli, and they were attacking Egypt. I'm surprised they weren't able to take it, but they did take back Sinai with the help of a loyalist rebellion. So yeah, I'm kind of actually surprised the Egyptians couldn't take Egypt back. You would think they have enough soldiers, but maybe they're not strong enough. But that's Egypt. Again, another re-emergent faction, so don't have to worry about their points. The Poles are still worrisome, they're sitting at 136. But it's the Danes that are really scaring me. They jumped from 88 to 110, and yeah, that's quite a leap. I'm almost considering attacking them before attacking the Poles, just because the Poles, they're not going anywhere. Like, they're going to be right here forever. So I'm not too worried about them. I can get around to them later on. But I am sort of looking at the Danes thinking, like, they've been at a war with the French probably for the last 20 years. And the French were the aggressors, and they were really giving the Danes as well as they could give for a while, but they're kind of running out of steam, as you would. The Danes have a huge empire. They're making a ton of money. And yeah, the French are now down to having the Ile-de-France and Lorraine. So they're in a tough spot. They are in a tough spot. So a part of me is tempted to jump in and pile in on the Danes. Well, at least they have other things to worry about, like the Egyptians and the French. What else? Who else are they fighting? Just those two, just the Egyptians and the French. They've been pretty good overall at not getting too stuck into multiple fights. It would be nice if the Sicilians and the Germans got involved, but yeah, they haven't. So, this would be the time, I think, to pile in and attack them. Let's see if I just wanted to get rid of them, where are their family members? I see they have one family member here in Egypt. And what else do they have? Other than that one family member in Egypt, I'm seeing another heir here in... Is it Normandy? Yes. And then another heir along with the king here in Flanders. So that's a total of 4 family members. One of them down here, and he would be pretty easy to isolate. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm allied. Yes, I did accept an alliance with the Egyptians. And if I attacked Egypt, I'm fairly certain the Egyptians would come in and help out with that fight, and we could get rid of one heir like that. And then up here, it would be a matter of my navy versus their navy, and they have a scary-ass navy. They really, really do. So, it's an interesting question. A part of me feels like pushing up just through here, Aquitaine and Toulouse. You know, Anjou, Brittany, Normandy, and then Flanders. That is an option. Just with my forces here in Aragon and Navarre, like that could do the job. I also have backup forces here in Tunisia and Algeria as well, who are just, you know, kind of hanging out. So I feel like I do have the numbers that could be required just to do a push up here. Of course, by going to war with the Danes, I would be initiating what is essentially an all-out war on sea and land anyway. So it's not like I'd be avoiding a naval warfare, it's just that I wouldn't be depending on victory at the sea to single out the family in Flanders and Normandy. Would that work, even if that's what I wanted to do? Also, by the way, I can't get any spies to Ireland because there's no port here, so I don't know. They just have 3 stacks stuck here forever, and I don't know if there's any family members here, but I'd assume not, because after, like, they would never spawn here, right? So there shouldn't be any family members there in Ireland. Would I be able to single them out with a naval invasion? I'm not sure. Even if I did win at the seas, I have 2 big stacks of boats here on the Spanish coast and then in the Gulf of Valencia. Not to mention, you know, boats everywhere else. So I have pretty good numbers out in the ocean, but so do the Danes. The Danes really do have some good fleets out there. And I think that it is time to go after them before it gets a little bit too out of control. Surprised they still have Sicily. There's nothing here. That is something that I'm going to have to think about. Just going after them. I think I can take them. I think I can. I think their empire is a bit too spread out for them to be able to, you know, localize all of their forces against me in one area. Gosh, like looking around, they're not that... Man, it sucks that they don't have these forces that are available because they really don't have that much strength. I think the French have kind of beaten them up a little bit. And while this war is still going on, I am allies with the French, so it would be my duty to go help out here. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Yeah. Because I feel like that wouldn't take too long. I do have less than 100 turns left before this campaign is over, mind you. So, you know, there's a time limit here. Obviously, I am ahead in points. It's just going to be a matter of, you know, making sure that the Danes and the Poles don't catch up to me. And I don't think anyone else will. The Germans are just not... They're not it. And neither are the French. Although, you know, helping them out could kind of put them back in the game. But I kind of doubt it. I kind of think that pushing against the Danes first is going to be the answer. And then coming in here. The Poles did try to take some of the territories that were left behind by the vacant Hungarian rebel forces. they couldn't hack it. They were being beaten by the rebel forces, and they had to retreat back to Moldavia and Poland, which is just that's a crappy feeling to not be able to take basically empty, well, not empty territories, but just beat the rebels. You know, not being able to do that. So it's a rough feeling. So that's going to be the thought going forward. I don't know if I showed you guys my new heir. I'm just so proud of him. I just want to show him off. So nothing too special, but 4 loyalty is that's fine. 2 piety is fine. 3 command is fine. 3 acumen is fine. You know what? The fact that you're 16 and you're of age, oh man, that is just fine, isn't it? Great warrior, +5 health, but he's also a hedonist, just like his great uncle. So -1 valor for liking food too much, but you know what? That's I can see that. So you know, I can't blame you for that one. 3 stars is okay, and as long as you have sons, man, as long as you have sons, that's all I'm fine with. Oh, and also let's just not forget that obviously his dad is still alive, Khalifa Umar III. I know you're just kind of hanging on to the throne. You're just kind of a seat warmer until your son is of age. So you've done well, man. You've done well. At least you had sons, and you did better than your brothers. So, oh, bless you so much. With all of that out of the way, I have no idea how this episode's going to look. Probably not very fun to watch, honestly, but I needed to get this out of the way, so apologies. I'm sure you understand. It was pretty dramatic for a second there, but now I've learned some things, and I'm not going to quite dive into this Danish war just yet, because once that kicks off, which my forces are ready, I could say, so I probably could do it this turn. But then the first couple of battles of that campaign, of that war, could be pretty huge. And I'd feel better about starting those off on a new episode with a fresh start, so that my mind feels clear. It feels good. It feels good to have some answers, and I feel a little bit worn down by the stress and the drama. So I want to go into that war with the Danes with a fresh, a fresh set of downs, as they say in American football. So yeah, I'm gonna come back to it. So that war with the Danes will have to wait until next time. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and thank you very much for watching. This has been Conestep playing Medieval Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.